Welcome everybody to episode 293 of the effing title. I am Big Husky.
And I'm DeNutte.
And together, we watched a horror movie yesterday.
We did. We were like, what are we going to do for podcast this week? And I was like, oh, why don't we watch a movie? We haven't done that in a bit. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the last one we did, this felt really easy because we did Zack Snyder's.
Yes, we did Rebel Moons.
Rebel Moon, I couldn't remember the name.
We also did Sonic.
We did do Sonic.
That was the movie where I got the big C word. IRL. Yeah, the IRL one, where I got the big C word. I don't know if I'm still allowed to say it or not. There was a whole thing for a while where you weren't allowed to actually say the word on YouTube. Or else you could get like fully demonetized. Like that sort of thing.
Captain Crunch?
Yeah. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I am a little pussy. I do not like horror movies at all. Yep. So when we were talking about what movie we were going to watch, immediately didn't. And
I knew we didn't like horror movies because we were like, all right, what do we watch? And then I sent him the last few years they always put out a list. It's like, what's the scariest horror movie of all time? And then you get a lot of people that are like talking about all these movies from the 70s. Like you have like, I don't know, like very old movies that are
like the original Exorcist, like Blair Witch.
No, I'm talking old movies like Phantom of the Opera. Like I'm talking old movies that are like we'd watch it and laugh at it now.
Yeah,
you know. And like I'll pull it up right now. Scariest movies of all time. It's Exorcist. I actually almost suggested The Exorcist.
I've said it when I've seen. So at least that one would have been like, yeah, sure, let's rewatch it again.
So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from '74.
Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey?
No, that was in the '90s. Halloween, which I guess, but I was looking, and a lot of them were not like scary movies. I mean, they might have been scary.
Dracula.
King Kong is on this list at 12 from Nosferatu, 1922. Texas Chainsaw's 1 on this. Exorcist 2. Psycho's number 3. Jaws. Is Jaws a horror movie? I don't know.
I don't think so. I've never seen it as a horror movie. I guess it's a thrill suspense movie.
Yeah, Frankenstein, 1931, number 8. Whoa. So like you get a lot of really weird lists, but then you get like. There's ones that are like they judge based on like they hook people up to heart monitors. They do this whole thing, and top 10 scariest movies of all time according to science. So I sent Husky that list, and it was like Sinister, Host, Skinamarink, never heard of that. Insidious, The Conjuring, Hereditary, Smile, Exorcism, Ezra, Emily Rose, Talk to Me, and Hell House. So I had talked about like watching Smile because Smile's really good. Smile 2 just came out. Husky said he'd seen Smile, so I was like, oh, Smile 2.
Yep.
And then he's like, I didn't actually see it. Got too scared.
Yeah. Now it's one of those ones where it's like, especially in today's day and age, I feel like you watch a movie, like you don't even need to watch a movie to see a movie. It's almost like when Napoleon Dynamite first came out. Remember when that first came out?
Yeah.
I never saw it. I know exactly what the movie's about.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly what the movie's about. I know all the different bits and hits and the main points and all this. I never saw the movie though, and that was when I was in high school. It's even worse.
Have you still not seen it?
No, I still haven't seen it. Don't want to.
Wow.
Don't need to.
Yeah. Why?
I've already seen it. Technically, well, you know what I mean. It's one of those things. Like
So it's a sum of the parts, right? It's about all the nuances. It's not just about like these big parts. It's all about like parts in between. You know.
Okay. Fair.
Anyways, doesn't matter. So and then I was like, talk to me. I've always wanted to see a A24 horror movie, Australian horror movie, for 22.
I remember seeing the trailers for it because I think my response back to you was, is that the movie about the hand?
Yep.
So we watched, as you can tell from Mia being really creepy looking behind DeNutte's head. So we watched Talk to Me. So as always, with how we do things here, we get out our score before we do everything else. So what would you give this a score out of?
Out of 5, I give it.
Let's go 5.
Like let's do 10. I like 10.
10. Okay.
10's an easier. I'll give it a 6-9 hands out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 6 like finger grabs out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's good. Sorry. Here's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was good, and I think it was a good horror movie. It's a good modern horror movie where it's not. I wouldn't necessarily call it stupid, but it's not like. I put it like Smile. Smile's not like a great movie. It's scary. It's fun. I wouldn't call it fun, but like it goes a lot with these like modern horror movies where they're made well. They're not like B horror movies anymore, but they're still like they're still like on par with like I don't know any dumb movie that comes out lately that like
so the other thing real quick is like the synopsis for this is when a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits with an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill and high stakes party game until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. That's the premise of what it was. And also, I'm looking right here. So, IMDb give it a 7.1 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Tomatoes is a 94.
Yeah.
And Letterboxd is a 3.5 out of 5.
Very all over the place.
Yes.
So critics liked it. Critics liked it.
Like what you were saying, it's horror movies are starting to fall back. Into the category of almost like comedies where like they pump them out now so frequently that they're all just kind of almost fading into each other. It feels like.
Yeah, we were only getting like 1 or 2 solid horror movies a year.
Yeah.
And now we're just getting a ton. Like Long Legs was supposed to be really good. We're getting like at this point we're getting a few Nicolas Cage horror movies a year. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's good. Before we really get into it, it's good. It's like I don't think it's like this crazy thing. I think A24 producing it carried a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
I think if not for that, I don't think it really would have been seen because like how many you don't really hear about a lot of films coming out of Australia to like America. Like you get like Son of a Gun, you get a couple things here and there, Mad Max, but like. Mm-hmm. You don't really get a lot of Australian films, so it's good it broke through. But
it's just one of those things where it's like it feels like with some of these movies, like there's always the initial hype, and then the hype kind of stays around. And this kind of goes back to the whole fact of me saying like horror movies are starting to fade into that comedy action thing where it's like there's the hype for the movie releases, and then it's just there's no hype anymore, completely dies out. We don't talk about the movie ever again. Which is what happens. Power. Yeah, which happens with a lot of comedies, a lot of action movies. It has that high hit and then it drops. But that's how a lot of horror movies feel like.
So, like, look at like Midsummer and Hereditary. Hereditary is considered like an all-time horror movie in the last 10 years. And that was another A24, I believe.
I believe so.
So like,
and that's like we said earlier as well. Like, I'm not a big horror guy. I've seen Hereditary.
You have seen Hereditary?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, I think I watched it with Jagger and Koopy Boy.
And it's good.
That was a solid movie. Like I easily give that high 7s.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Because it's got the weird.
Ari Aster does a really. He's great. He's. So I don't know. It's just it was good. It was good. I was expecting better.
I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Like one of those things. Like there was a lot of things where, because like of course we watched the movie together. So, of course, there's going to be times where we're joking around, where, we're talking and everything. There's a couple times where DeNutte made a noise, and it freaked me out.
I only made 1 or 2 on purpose. A couple of them were just me making noises.
Yeah, and almost every time it freaked me out to the point where I was, like, jump scared. But, no, there was a lot of the stereotypical, and I think this is kind of one of my big tropes to an extent with horror movies, is there's always a stereotypical horror, jump scare, horror, like, it's always going to be in the movie no matter what.
So that I think that's why like Sinister is always like considered like in a top 5 because like that movie had jump scares, and like The Conjuring, those jump scares were always unexpected.
Yes,
you were never like because like in this one. So I guess we'll kind of go into spoilers now.
Yeah, now we can go.
So I guess we got to kind of talk about the movie.
Yeah. Do I still have the spoiler alert thing? Does this? Okay, it's right there.
Spoiler talk.
It works.
Right,
it works. So.
Movies about this main character Mia, and she's kind of. It took us a while to deduce if they were in high school or college.
Also, I'm gonna say this right now. I genuinely did not care for any of the actors in this movie. Not the actual performances, the characters themselves.
Okay. I think we can both agree on one. The friend.
Oh, the
whose
big boy?
brother.
Oh no, the
girl.
Okay.
I can't remember her name.
Which one was it? Haley?
Haley, I think it was. No, Haley was the girl with the hand, or person with the hand. Jade, the girl with the curly hair.
Yeah, fair.
Because she was just like kind of there, and she got thrown through the ringer, and she didn't do anything wrong the whole movie. She was like, Anyways, so it's about like these high school kids who are definitely wealthy. They're in Adelaide. They're definitely wealthy families. If you know anything about the housing crisis, it is kind of a housing crisis. There's just no housing, so like you have to like all these their houses are like $1.5 million. They're not cheap houses, and they all live in houses. Single parents too. Anyways, so and then like that, so they go. Their parties aren't necessarily drinking. Sure, they drink, but their parties are let's go get possessed by an evil spirit and laugh about it and record it.
Yeah.
Which
90 seconds.
I actually think is a good
premise-wise. It's cool.
Its premise is because that is what would happen with kids. Kids are stupid, and they would be like, "Oh, let's go get possessed." I used to smoke spice in high school. You get possessed by the demon if you smoke spice, or salvia. You smoke a lot of salvia in high school.
Oh Jesus, I remember the salvia days.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the thing as well is like that's one of my things with horror. Is the horror feels a lot. Just like everything's similar with horror movies, it feels like these days. With some of these are nice because like Smile, kind of a new concept. What was the one that they did that was kind of related to the board game?
Jumanji?
No. Truth or Dare.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
That one's actually not bad. That one's not bad.
I heard good things about that one. That girl has been in a lot of stuff too.
But like even this, like there's a lot of these new, kind of like I guess newer premises, but they're not really. Like there's always it always falls back into the same stuff. But the main setup of it is like they're kind of trying to change things and make it new.
They're like, hey, instead of like
demons,
just a bunch of kids in this house, and we're gonna kill them, let's make it. There's a reason why they're there at the house, and they're just not at the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Mia and her friend. Oh, actually, Mia's only really friends with one of them, but also like, again, talking about how these characters, all these kids suck.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's very. I mean, like at the very right off rip. There's okay, so right off rip as well. We didn't even get to that one. Right off rip is like at a party house and some dude's yelling for his brother, and then all you hear is a loud knife sound. And DeNutte goes, "Oh, that's not like foreshadowing."
I don't like that knife sound.
Yeah, it's like I don't like that.
And also, it was like this huge house party. Everyone's getting tanked. They
and the mom's there.
Walk to the kitchen. The mom's there with a knife making food for the party, and it's not like a kids party. Like they're all getting hammered.
Yeah.
And then this kid finds his brother, breaks down the door. They're freaking out. The dude's sitting in a room by himself, shirtless, covered in cuts, and he's all bloody and like it's you're like, okay.
All right, great.
What are we doing?
Weird scene, and then it's like
was this a flop house?
Yeah, the dude comes out. Like he finds his brother, comes out. Everyone, of course, because kids these days. Right, phone is out, ready, full on, and he starts freaking out on him, yelling at him, turn the cameras off, turns around, and you don't even hear the knife come off the table. You hear is, and it's the brother just stabbed right in the chest.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, and like it got both of us because it was so quick with like him yelling at the people, turning around, and as he's turning, the knife comes at him. Like,
yeah, because he's in frame the whole time. It's like a single shot, and then. I will say the cinematography is really great.
I think we can both agree on that. The cinematography and the music were on point.
Yeah, music was all over the place. We talked about that a lot, but it was like it worked for the movie because at times it didn't feel like a horror movie. It almost felt like a fantasy movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one part later on where like it says it like it said because we watch everything with subtitles. So it said
Also, they had hard Australian accents, and I was like, I gotta.
At one point, it's like ethereal, angelic music playing, like that sort of thing. And I said to Dude, I was like, what sort of movie is this, bro? And then like not even 3 minutes, like a couple minutes later, it's suddenly like the vibe of that changes, and it goes from that
same
to
scene.
just same scene, literal same scene. It goes from that to ominous music playing. It's like, oh, okay, now I don't feel safe.
Comes into the room and starts sucking on some guy's toes.
But yeah. So at the very beginning, though, brother stabs his brother in the chest. Walks outside the party. He's just kind of like standing there for a hot second. Turns this way, and it's like we're sitting there. And it's like, oh, is he just gonna go kill everybody now? And like, he has the knife out, and it looks like he's about to like go after people, and then he just down. And I was like, oh. Okay, and that's how the movie starts. So already off rip, yeah. I've already jump scared about 4 times now because I think DeNutte made a noise at one point when like it was like a silent part. So like yeah, it just off rip already just kind of like oh
yeah,
violence. Yeah, then we get to Mia hanging out with all of her friends, her friend, talking about
who I couldn't tell if she was in love with the entire movie. So her best friend is this girl. She has a boyfriend, and I guess Mia had a thing for this guy at one point. They dated when they were like young children.
They held hands.
And I couldn't tell if Mia was in love with both of them.
It felt like it at points.
Yeah, which I'm like is that could happen. It's not like out of the question, but like. I guess it just felt because at times she felt like she was really into the guy, and then at times it felt like she's into the girl way more than a friend should be into a girl.
Mm-hmm. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want him to play with my Gucci.
Yeah, and like we were so she kept referring to her hoo-ha as a Gucci, and I was like, are they saying Gucci or Gucci? And I said Gucci in the subtitles, but I was like, I've never heard it called Gucci.
I've never heard it called Gucci either.
We knew what she meant.
Yeah, exactly. 100% knew exactly what it was. And also, weird thing to ask your best friend of, hey, can your boyfriend just, go to Pound Town with me because today is the day that my mom died?
Oh, no, she's like, can you come to the party with me? Or we can take you to the party so you can get your Gucci popped out.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. But we're not girls, so maybe
it's not weird.
The directors aren't girls, so yeah. I don't know.
So we go to the party, and they take this little brother, annoying little shit.
I looked up his name. You know what his name is in real life? Joe Bird.
Joe Bird?
Yeah, it's like a real sports player name.
I was gonna say the only way that would have been better is if it was like Kyle Bird. But this kid, just the way he acted, and like, yet again, like it's one of those things. These guys could all be fantastic people, could do fantastic things in other movies. In this movie, I didn't like any of them but Eowyn, and that's it, basically.
Okay. Oh yeah, shout out Eowyn from Lord of the Rings is in this movie.
Just out of nowhere.
Like, wow, she looks familiar. What's she from? And we looked it up, and I was like, oh, she's Eowyn. She's in arguably the biggest movie trilogy of all time.
Yeah, arguably the biggest movie trilogy and the most powerful female that we've had. One of them.
But that movie was 20 years ago, and she didn't age poorly, but she was probably 30 when that movie came out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know who the person is, but then you're like, I should know this, but I don't. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go to house party. They eventually get to doing the hand thing. This picture here of Mia is during that first possession. It's like, talk to me, and then a ghosty person appears in front of them, and then they have to say, let me in, and then they
see, this is where I'm like, I know I was a stupid kid, but like this stuff scared everyone, and I think I would like if I got scared, I just would have been like, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid.
Well, it's like
because I've been in a lot of places growing up where something stupid happened, and I went, "I'm going home."
Yeah, I'm down. Deuces. Yeah,
I'm out.
And it's weird because like you have this weird moment as well where everybody there is very much like kind of just in on the bit. It's a joke, haha. We'll get possessed. It's funny, and then Jade's kind of sitting there like, "Yeah, this is all fake." but there's not a person there that's just like, this is weird. I'm
none
out.
of them think it's fake except for the friend.
Yeah.
They're like, it's fake. Everyone else is like, yeah, you're gonna see shit.
Yeah, they're like hyping it up like it's someone doing like a keg stand.
You're like, there's someone right there in front of me. They're like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, talk to them. Like,
and you gotta let them in.
Yeah, so the whole premise was like they gotta let them in, and it's for 90 seconds. So you get the high of them being in there for 90 seconds. Because if you do any longer than 90 seconds, they stay around.
They want to stay.
Yeah, and it's like okay, whatever, bro. Like sure, but then the first time Mia does it, she does it for like 3 minutes, and it's like,
so
okay,
that's what messed her up for sure.
So she gets messed up.
She overdosed the first time.
Yeah, she OD'd the first time, and now she's hooked on it, and she wants more of it. And then it gets to the point where eventually Jade's boyfriend is like, I want to do it. And we get to arguably the weirdest and funniest moment of the entire movie.
It was funny. It was, so he does it first time, and also she's jonesing so bad, she calls the dealer over and is like, just come and do it with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just do it.
Just do it. Like, it's
not a party, just come and do it.
Yeah. So the boyfriend does it, and he's like, he looks at his girlfriend, and this was the only real messed up part. He looks at the girlfriend, he's like, he doesn't like it when you touch him. He gets soft, and then he just starts moaning, and then he falls down, and he's like going like,
oh, he was rubbing himself.
Yeah, he's like rubbing himself, then he like falls down, and it looks like he's getting.
Oh no, like he was like jerking it.
He's like getting it from behind, from the ghosty. That's what it seemed like to me. And then he starts making out with the puppy.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that entire sequence, I was freaking out, and DeNutte can attest to this, because I thought something bad was going to happen to Cookie. Cookie's the name of the dog. And if it did, I was just done at that point.
You said that early, first scene the dog was in, if something happens to that dog. Yep. So then he throws up, they freaks out, he leaves, and then...
everyone does it.
And then everyone has a good time, and they love it, except for the friend. Jade.
Yeah, Mia starts like singing in like French at one point, and then eventually it gets to the brother, the little boy, the little kid. He's like, I want to do it. Jade's like, no, you're too young, and everyone's like, stop being a loser. And she gets upset and stomps off, and Mia's like, fine, you can do it for 50 seconds. And then the kid does it, and it's seems like, and I'll word it like that, it seems like it's Mia's dead mom who had died within the past year, and she's still grieving about. So of course Mia now is like, oh my god, let her stay. We gotta stay longer than 50 seconds now because it's my mom. I need to talk to my mom. So it goes past 50 seconds, and then the most violent and aggressive thing in a movie I've seen in a little while happens.
Yeah, it was.
It got both of us the entire time.
Yeah, he started slamming his face against stuff.
The desk here just slam as hard as he can. Slam. And then he tries to rip his eyeball out. And then he gets his chair flung up against the window, and then it's swung around, and then he goes over to another thing, he's smashing his head off of that as well, and eventually he keeps
slamming, and then it seems like this is the last one, it's gonna do it. The sister runs in and blocks it with her hand, breaks her hand.
And then we get this whole sad montage for a couple minutes of like, Mia being like, I'm so sorry, but it was my mom. And like, can I see him? Oh, why are you all so upset with me? Don't leave me alone. And then the boyfriend goes home with her.
But I will say that is a very high school thing where they're like, yeah, I went home and slept with her, but I didn't sleep with her.
Yeah, right. So they went home together. We thought they were going to do something. They ended up doing nothing. Mia starts having a vision, freaking out. And then there's like something in the corner of the room. And it's funny because DeNutte caught it before I did. So DeNutte freaked out before I did. The one time throughout the whole movie where he freaked out before I did. And then I freaked out. Because then it started moving. DeNutte freaked out because there was something there. I freaked out because it started moving. And it's like this ghosty lady, and she comes up and she starts sucking on his toes.
And she's like, wake up, Harry. And I forget what his name was.
Daniel. Wake up, Daniel. And then so Daniel wakes up, and it's Mia that's sucking on his toes. So Daniel freaks out and leaves. Mia's now all sorts of confused. I'm trying to think what happened next then after that.
Then, so they're like, all right, back to like when they were at the hospital, like the friend was like, I pretty much like, I never want to see you again. And like the mom came out and was like about to fight her.
Yeah.
So like they were like, oh, like this relationship's completely torn up. They're broken.
Done.
She goes and sucks on the boyfriend's toes. And then like the next scene, might not be the next scene, but pretty much the next scene, they're back at like the original party house. Not the original, but the original party house they first did the thing. And they're all together again. So it's the two people who had the hand, the boyfriend, and the two girls. And they're all just there. And it's like nothing. It's like they're there to talk about what happened, but they're like not mad at each other anymore.
Yeah, it was kind of, that was
there
a
was
little
no
bit...
like resolute. There's no like a lot of things like that happen, and there's like the tension, and even real life, you're like, hey, we got to get through this, or like this is never going to get resolved, or like we need to get through this or that. We need to figure out what's going on. That happened yet, and they end up doing that later in the movie, but like this should have happened before that.
Yeah, this was the only thing we really had that was to kind of show that things were still on edge. Was the dealer, the guy that had the guy and the other person who had the hand are on one side of the room over here. The boyfriend and Jade are over here, and Mia's like completely away from them.
We had the three separate parties at this point.
Yeah, so it was like that's the only thing that we had to separate all three of them. But then they're like, well, what are we gonna do? It's like, well, let's go find the original dude that had it and try to talk to him. And they go and find him, and he's at like a bus stop.
So the dealer says like, well, because Mia's like, I'm starting to see stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the guy I got it from, he killed himself.
Yeah.
After stabbing his brother, and like he was seeing stuff too, and
immediately at that point, that's when it's like, time out. What?
You're like, he's like, but we like doing it, and we didn't happen to us, so so then they're like, we got to find this brother.
Yeah.
And they find him at a bus stop.
Yeah, he's like heading to work.
But like, it's such like a
weird.
I was thinking about it. It's like, how they know he's going to be at bus stop at this time? Like, there's a lot of like timing stuff that were like clearly he wouldn't have answered his phone. So like, where they get like you got to like show up at his house or something. Like, well, no, you show up at a bus stop.
Now that I think about it as well, they show up at the bus stop. So then there's like a short little bus ride where they're all talking to each other, and then Jade like runs off the bus. But then, like, the next thing it looks like is that they're at, like, a train station. I don't know if you remember that at all, but that's what it seemed like now that I'm thinking back on it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they were at a train station. But yeah, they were on a bus.
There's a lot of bus stations that look like train stations.
I mean, that's fair then. Like, it was just very odd now that I think about it back. But they're like, okay, we have a plan. We have an idea. This is what we're going to do. And it's like, we'll just get Daniel to do it again and we'll blow the candle out.
Yeah.
Because you light the candle to open the door. And then you blow the candle out to close the door. So, like, we'll just get Daniel to do it again. In fact, no big deal.
Dude, we'll just do it again. So, that, like, we just need to finish. We edged him last time. So now we have to finish him.
So we go back to the hospital. And this is the thing. He's in a hospital bed, fully done up. Breathing tube in, everything. Like just
his right eye is completely shut. It's all messed up.
So they're trying to get him to do it. He can't do it, obviously.
Well, actually, at this point, he had I guess every time he's awake, he tried to kill himself.
Yeah.
He bit the sister. He tried to kill himself in the bathroom of the hospital room. He's slamming his head against stuff. He's sucking up his own blood off the ground. He's loon. He's tapped. He's crashed out.
He's gone.
Yeah.
So like Mia's trying to get him to do the thing again. Let him in. Let him. And she's like, fine then. I'll do it and I'll ask for him. So she asks for him. She does it again and gets a little girl. And she's like, "Do you know where he is? Do you know who he is, or like where he is?" And the little girl's like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Can you take me to him?" And I think this was one of the cooler parts of the movie. Is the little girl's just like, "Yeah, I can take you to him. I let you in." And it was one of those things, just like that little flip, and then seeing her. And it, like now she's fully gone. Mia's lost it now at this point. This I think this was the breaking point for Mia, was when they let her in, like that sort of thing. So Mia sees the kid, the brother, like just being basically just molested by like all of the ghosties are just touching on him. It was weird. That part was weird. The part of the little ghostie saying "I let you in" that was dope though.
Yeah. So and then, most movies don't confuse me. I was really confused by like the last 20 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, it felt like they had the entire movie like set up decently well, but then they didn't know how to finish it.
This is ultimately why I was like, it was okay. It's because like the last 20 minutes of the movie, I was like,
I think the last 20 minutes of the movie, we were making more jokes than the entire rest of the movie.
Yeah, it had us. I had me until the end. So she lets her in, and then she's really starting to see her mom everywhere. This whole thing. So we also didn't mention this. The mom died because she had an accidental overdose, apparently. But then she's been seeing her ghost of her mom, who she actually slept with one night, and she saw an accidental but the mom said it was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. Your dad's lying to you. So she confronts her dad, who she's ignored the whole movie, who's just trying to be a good dad, and he's like, she left us a suicide note. It was on purpose, and he read the suicide note,
and it was,
and then
the suicide note was kind of like I'm listening to him read it, and I'm kind of sitting there, I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, same. I was like, have none of you ever wrote a suicide note? So
sorry.
So they
sorry for the laugh.
No, sorry. So they go. She does this thing. They're crying. It was like kind of like a half in, half out suicide letter. If I'm gonna judge your suicide letters, so she goes back to the room. Mm-hmm. The mom's like, he's lying to you, and he starts banging on the door. He's like, that's not your dad. That's not your dad. That's someone else.
He's trying to kill you.
And then it breaks down the door. It's not the dad. It's a ghost.
And the whole time that this bang is happening, the dad is still just sitting on the couch, because it went and showed us like one random scene of him just sitting on the couch, just like still looking at the note to like show that like it really isn't him, which I thought was kind of a weird, like, why just quickly show him? Like they could have shown him doing something.
I guess maybe so. Earlier on, they said that like the ghosts, I don't know what you would call the spirits. They impersonate people. Mm-hmm. They may be like how it might not actually be your mom, might be someone else.
Yeah.
I think it was like, it definitely was a mind F on her. Like that was the whole point of it. But I don't know, maybe they were trying to do a mind F on us.
Maybe
I don't know. Because like you have the ghost mom following around. Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm just going to say this if I haven't said it already. If any of you film nuts are like, you guys are stupid, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Who cares? And so like the mom's like, he's not your dad. He's going to kill you. Also, you need to go kill Riley. You need to save him. Because if you kill him, you free him.
You free him. And he can come live with me.
You're doing this whole thing. So the dad breaks down the door. Dad strangles her. The real dad comes to the doors, knocks, and she's like, I need help. He's like, I'm trying. He comes in. As he's coming in, the ghost dad pushes her away. She turns, grabs a pair of scissors, turns around, stabs the real dad in the neck, and is like, oh my god, it's the real dad, and then pulls him out. She made it even worse.
Well, she does that, and then like the mom's like, you have to go to Riley. You have to go to the boy. Like go to the boy. And out she goes.
She just leaves her dad.
Like fully acknowledges that she just stabbed her dad in the neck as well. Like fully acknowledges that. She just like, freaks out for a moment, and then it's like, nope, never mind. Gotta go kill the kid.
She goes. So then she calls her friend, who's at the hospital. And now they're fine, clearly, because they were like, what do you need? And then so the friend from Jade leaves the hospital to go to her house to help her, and then it shows Mia at the hospital watching her leave. She's pulling a fast one. She goes in there to try to kill him. Eventually, Jade shows up at the house and just sees the dad on the ground. It was like, oh my god. Also, not dead.
Yeah, he's just chilling in the bedroom now in a completely different area, just holding onto his neck, and there's just blood everywhere. So like,
he's not dead yet.
He's not dead. We're just like, what? But then Jade leaves the house, calls her mom, calls Eowyn, like, hey, crazy lady's over there. Let's go stop her. She leaves, shows up at the hospital. The dad isn't with her. She just leaves the dad there too, dying. Like, she goes to start to run into the hospital, and then she looks up, and there's a little ramp up over yonder, a little ramp, and she sees that Mia is just, carting the brother up the ramp.
Riley.
Yeah, Riley. So she like starts running after him, and then they go down like this. Then they like break through this like fencing. There's like a giant tear in the fence, perfectly sized for them, and she pushes it down there, and it's like right towards an interstate. And she's just like hanging out there with the kid, and the mom's like, "Do it, send him to me, save him." And then the next thing you know, we're in a car, in the backseat of the car, and then suddenly all we hear is,
that was a cool shot.
That was a cool shot. All you hear is, like, because they're just driving, nothing's happening, and then just bang, glass shatters on the right, the car they send it to the side, and then it just shows me in the street, just.
Yep. So.
And we're like, oh.
Jade got to him, pushed Mia into the road.
Yeah.
And she gets up, and we're like, dude, how's she not dead?
It's like that car was moving fast.
And then turns out she was dead, and then she was walking in the hospital, and she sees Riley, Jade, and Eowyn leave all happy. Everything's good. She sees her dad. She can't catch up to him. No one's responding. And then it fades to black. And then she's in a black room, and she sees a guy at a table.
Well, even before that, there's just like it's like the spark of the light for the candle lighting. So she walks over to it, and there's just some dude just standing there, arm out, grabs a hold of it. And now she's in a room, and they were speaking Greek.
I wanted to say some sort of Mediterranean. European.
One of the European Mediterranean language. Oh, it is Greek. So just so you heard. I open up Wikipedia real quick. So it's that, and then it's like, so Mia's sitting there now, just in some random Greek room with a party going on, and they were speaking Greek, and then the kid goes, "I let you in," and then you see her eyes get big, and then it fades to black. That I would say was kind of cool though. That ending.
That was a cool shot. Way to come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that a lot. But that last 20 minutes just felt rushed and all over the place, and like you could tell the mom was evil and was trying to, I guess, was the ultimate goal to kill Riley and then kill her. Like what was the?
That's the thing. Like it didn't seem like. There was no like big plan, like you're saying there. Like it's just like just kill him and then he'd be with me.
Yeah, I guess we never knew the intentions, but I guess like the intentions are implied.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, we're dumb.
We're dumb.
So.
But like so that's the thing is like that's one of the reasons why I give it just a 6 is because it's one of those things where it's like if it's on TV, would I watch it again if I'm bored? Potentially. If it's there, like not a actual watching, but if it's a background noise, then sure, whatever, but like it's not one of those things where I'm going to seek out to rewatch this movie again.
Yeah, I don't ever need to see it again. I liked it. If someone asked me about it, I'm like, yeah, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, it's not a waste. I mean, like we've seen movies that it's like this is a waste of our time. I mean, hell, even when we saw the new Roadhouse movie, we're like, is it a good movie? No, but it's hilarious. Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time. This was kind of the same thing. It was.
You know what? I get a lot of Roadhouse clips on TikTok.
Roadhouse.
And then I watch the clips and I go, yeah, that's like those are the parts I want to see. So it's fine.
But it's in the similar vein of that, where it's like it was exactly what you would expect from a horror movie. You're gonna get some jump scared every now and then. There's gonna be a twist or two that you kind of see, kind of don't see, and at the end of the time, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that wasn't bad.
And it was done mostly well.
Yeah.
That was my big thing. Is like the last 20 minutes, I was like, you lost me.
The last 20 minutes and just the characters themselves.
Yeah.
Those are my two.
I will say this. Mia, I feel it was not written that well, right? But the actor who played her killed it.
That's the thing is
she killed it.
Yeah, she did a great job, but it was just one of those things where it's like,
you know what I will say? The actor who played Haley, you really hated that character.
Yes.
And so I think I don't want to mislabel. I think they're non-binary. I'm not sure at this point they were non-binary in their life. Definitely, Husky thought it was a guy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
And so I just want to not be offensive. I'm not sure because the Haley, so not by them. So that character was perfect because you're like, this person fucking sucks.
They identify as non-binary and transmasculine.
Yeah, so they're like that. I think that actor killed it because they're like, I hated that character.
Yes, that one and the other one, Joss.
The friend.
Yeah, the friend.
You liked him right away.
Yeah, I liked him right away. He just seemed like he was like he feels like this like he's that typical sports jock that just overhypes everything and just doesn't give two shits.
Cool apartment too.
Yeah. So like that was like those two characters I felt were good. They was massive side characters for the role that they played, but like those two. Were fine,
we also did not mention this part when they were like, "We got to save my brother. We got to do this and that." They were both like,
"Oh yeah,
we don't want any part of this." And then we never saw them again, which I'm like, respect.
they like
because they were like.
They were instigating and setting shit up the entire time. And then they're like, yeah, let's redo it again. They're like, nope. Not us. I'm good, homie. Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, at the end of the day, if you haven't seen it, should you watch it? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely should see it. If you are, it's good. For me, maybe Husky too, I lost us towards the end, but... Yeah. And then it finished really strong with the final scene. Yes. But I think it is a good solid watch. 6-9 for me is always a watch.
Yep.
If you got a chance, I wouldn't seek it out unless you were looking for a horror movie.
Yeah, if you have like an hour and a half, like it was an hour and a half. Right?
Yeah, it's a solid hour and a half. Yeah. That's not too long. It's not too short.
If you have like a solid hour and a half that you just you like horror movies, you haven't seen it before, you thought it seemed interesting, send it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Talk to me, baby.
Yeah, that's all I got, baby. That's it. Talk to me.
I did like that. It was like, I still go back to that little girl. It's like, I'll let you in.
Yeah, so. that was kind of like, there's always those scenes in some of these movies where you get the chills. That was the one for me. They did a couple of things really well in this, so yes. I will say that there were a couple of things that were like, that was good. Yeah, I will say this as well. Mia's acting when she gets possessed the first time was unreal. Like you genuinely feel she's fully possessed. Yeah,
it was uncomfortable.
Like she's looking.
I mean, look at this picture. Yeah.
She's looking at the brother, just screaming, "Run!" Over and over and over.
They like him.
Yeah, they like him. Run. And they're like trying to rip the hand out of her hand, and it's just not coming out. So she's just, this is almost like, I think it would be, in all honesty, a solid 20 seconds of her just screaming, run, over and over and over again. And it gets unsettling.
So it's very unsettling. So again, I liked it. Yeah. I can understand why people really liked it. And I said, "Look at us! We're enjoying a foreign film."
Yes. We like foreign films.
We like foreign films. Redneck British.
Yes, that's what we got though.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys think though. If you guys saw this, let us know what you guys think. Also, if there's a movie out there that you think we should watch.
Yeah, doesn't matter what kind of movie.
Yeah, movie, TV show, anything. If we haven't seen it, we might do it. Who knows? So, but until next week.
Yeah.
I know what I was trying to say there for a moment. So, until next week. Depending on where you are, morning, afternoon, even night, stay trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.